Alright, so here's the Calc 1 video on the sum of the first n whole numbers. This is going to be the first part of a 3-part video series where we take a little bit of a brief detour to prove some auxiliary results that are going to help us do integrals. And they're going to seem, the first 2 videos are going to seem totally outside of calculus, and it's going to feel like it has nothing to do with what we're doing. And then in the third video, we're going to use what we've used in the first 2 to actually evaluate an integral. So that being said, this isn't going to look like what you're used to, but it's going to all come together at the end. I'd like to answer the question that you may already know the answer to, that you may know the formula for, but you probably don't know why it works. Let's say that I asked you to evaluate the sum of the first 1,000 whole numbers. Obviously, this would take forever to do with a calculator, so we need some better way to do it. And the best way, the shortcut to do it, is to realize that I can add them in a different order. I can add the first and the last term. So those add up to what? 1001. If I add the second and the second to last, 2 plus 999 is 1001. 3 plus 998 is 1001. And I have all of these other terms packed in here, but everything else is going to match up like that. So I have, let me write it in white. 1001 plus 1001 plus 1001. How many 1001s do I have? Well, I've paired up 1,000 whole numbers. So each pair gives me 1001. So I have 500 of them. So my final answer is 1001 times 500, which if you plug in your calculator, I should have done this earlier, you get 500,500. So that's the shortcut. So now we have to ask the question, how do I do this for, if I don't give you 1,000 whole numbers, if I give you an unspecified number of whole numbers? So now I'd like to answer the question. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And I want to go up till n. I'm not telling you what n is. I want to find a formula. If I give you n, you can tell me the sum of the first n whole numbers. So, just like before, what's going to come before n? Well, n minus 1. What's going to come before n minus 1? N minus 2. And these ellipses, these 3 dots, are just indicating that there's probably a lot more stuff in there. So I'm just going to break it up exactly like I did before. I have 1 and n adds up to n plus 1. 2 and n minus 1 add up to n plus 1. 3 and n minus 2 add up to n plus 1. And these will just keep canceling out, And so I have n plus 1 plus n plus 1 plus n plus 1. And how many do I have? Well, I have n numbers, and I've paired them up. So I have to divide n by 2. So I have n over 2 of them. Now, this assumes n is even. If n is odd, the proof goes very much the same. You just take off the number 1, and it still works. So there's n times n plus 1 over 2. N plus 1 times n over 2. And that's the formula. So if I were to plug n equals 1,000 into here, that'll give me the sum of the first 1,000 numbers, which is what I wanted the first time. And that'll give me the same answer. So that's it.